What if I gave you just $100? No rich, no business degree.no, lucky investment.no, thousands of followers, just $100. Could you turn it into $1,000? Most people would immediately say, that's impossible. But here's something crazy: every single day, people in the United States are making their first $1,000 online with less money than they spend on dinner. The problem isn't money, the problem is knowing where to start. And today, I'm going to show you exactly what I would do if someone wiped out my bank account and left me with only $100. By the end of this video, you'll have a step-by-step plan that almost anyone can start, even if you're a complete beginner. But here's the twist: the strategy I'd use first probably isn't the one you're expecting. Let's be honest, most financial advice on YouTube sounds amazing, until you actually try it. People tell you to buy rental properties, invest in index funds, start $1 million company. Those are great ideas, if you already have money, but what if you don't? Imagine you're 22 years old, you have a regular job, maybe you work retail, maybe you're delivering food, maybe you're still in college, you finally save your first $100. Now comes the biggest question: how do you make that money work for you? Most beginners make one huge mistake. They immediately think investing will make them rich. Here's a surprising fact: if you invested $100 into the S&P 500 and earned the historical average return of around 10% per year, after 1 year, you'd have about $110. That's not life-changing. Investing is amazing, but only after you already have money. The fastest way to build wealth isn't investing your first $100. It's using that $100 to create an income machine. Think of it like planting a tree. The investment is the fruit, but first, you need the tree. And that's exactly what we're building today. By the end of this video, you'll understand why your first $1,000 is actually the hardest, and why every thousand after that becomes easier. But before we get there, you need to understand one rule that changed everything for me: stop thinking like an investor, think like an entrepreneur. Here's the biggest mindset shift: that if I had only $100, I wouldn't buy stocks, that I wouldn't buy crypto, that I wouldn't buy expensive courses, that I'd buy something much more valuable: skills. Because skills create income, income creates investments, investments create wealth. Most people try to skip the middle step, and that's why they stay broke. Imagine two people: Jake spends his $100 buying random cryptocurrency, Sarah spends her $100 learning how to create AI content for local businesses. 3 months later, Jake is checking prices every 5 minutes, hoping his investment goes up. Sarah is getting paid $300 every weekend creating simple social media posts for restaurants. Who's winning? Exactly, the market can go up, the market can go down, but nobody can take away a valuable skill. And here's something most people don't realize: we're living in one of the biggest opportunities in history: artificial intelligence. Businesses everywhere need help using AI, but millions of business owners have absolutely no idea how to use tools like ChatGPT. That's your opportunity. Not because AI is magic, but because businesses pay for results. Let's say you walk into a local dentist's office. You show them how you can create Instagram captions, Facebook posts, email newsletters, Google business updates, using AI. Instead of spending hours writing, you finish everything in 20 minutes. Now imagine charging just $250. You only need 4 clients. That's your first $1,000. No inventory.no, warehouse.no, employees.no, fancy office, just a laptop, internet, and the willingness to learn. Here's another surprising statistic: small businesses make up over 99% of all businesses in America. That means millions of potential customers. Most of them don't need complicated marketing, they just need someone to save them time, and businesses happily pay for time. Think about that. You're not selling AI, you're selling convenience, you're selling consistency, you're selling results. That changes everything. But here's where almost everyone messes up: they spend weeks learning, instead of earning. And in the next section, I'll show you exactly how I would use that same $100 to land my very first paying client, even if nobody knew who I was. Finding your first customer is the part that scares most people. Beginners think they need a professional website, a fancy logo, business cards, and thousands of followers before they can make money. But the truth is much simpler. You only need one person willing to pay you. That's it. In fact, many successful businesses started with a single customer. If I had only $100 today, here's exactly what I would do. I would open Google Maps and search for local businesses near me. Dentists, roofers, real estate agents, landscapers, auto repair shops, gyms, restaurants, coffee shops, and small family businesses. Then I'd look for one obvious problem. Maybe their Instagram hasn't been updated in 6 months. Maybe their Facebook page is inactive. Maybe their Google business profile has outdated photos, or their website looks like it was built 10 years ago. Those aren't bad signs. They're opportunities. They tell me the owner is busy running the business instead of growing it online. That's exactly where I can help. I wouldn't walk in trying to sell a complicated marketing package. I'd keep my offer incredibly simple. I'd say, "Hi, I noticed your social media hasn't been updated in a while. I create professional content using AI, and I'd love to make 5 posts for you completely free. If you like them, we can talk about working together." That's it. Notice that I never mention algorithms, engagement rates, or artificial intelligence. Business owners don't care about the tools you use. They care about getting more customers, more phone calls, more appointments, and more sales. They buy solutions, not software. The simpler your offer is, the easier it is for them to say yes. Now, some people might think working for free is a terrible idea, but I see it differently. You're not working for free. You're investing in proof. Imagine spending just 2 hours creating 5 high-quality social media posts. If those 2 hours lead to a client paying you $250 every month, was it worth it? Absolutely. Because now you have something much more valuable than the money you spent. You have a testimonial. You have real results. You have a portfolio. And most importantly, you have confidence. Those 4 things make getting your second client dramatically easier. Here's something fascinating about business. The first client is almost always the hardest to get. The second becomes easier. The third is easier than the second. Why? Because people trust businesses that other people already trust. Imagine your first client owns a local restaurant. They love your work and recommend you to the bakery next door. The bakery recommends you to the coffee shop across the street. Suddenly, you didn't find 3 clients. One happy client found them for you. That's how momentum works in business. Now let's look at the numbers because they're simpler than most people think. Your first client pays you $250 per month. Your second client pays another $250. Your third client does the same. Your fourth client also pays $250 every month. Congratulations! You're now making $1,000 every single month. Not one time. Every month. And because AI helps you create content much faster, you might only spend 3 or 4 hours each week managing those accounts. You're no longer trading every hour for every dollar. You're building recurring income, and recurring income changes everything because every new month begins with money already scheduled to come into your bank account. That's a completely different feeling than waiting for your next paycheck. Here's another reason this opportunity is so exciting. 10 years ago, creating marketing content required copywriting experience, graphic design skills, expensive software, and countless hours of work. Today, AI dramatically reduces the time it takes to create high-quality first drafts. Instead of staring at a blank page wondering what to write, you can generate ideas in seconds, edit them, personalize them, and deliver professional content much faster. The real value isn't pushing a button inside an AI tool. The value is understanding what each business actually needs. That's why AI isn't replacing entrepreneurs. It's making smart entrepreneurs faster, more productive, and more profitable than ever before. But here's the biggest secret that most people never learn. Most beginners spend months preparing. They watch endless YouTube videos, buy expensive courses, read books, take notes, and wait until everything feels perfect before they ever start. Meanwhile, someone with half the knowledge takes action today. They make mistakes, improve their skills, land their first client, then their second, then their third. The market doesn't reward perfect preparation. It rewards execution. Action beats perfection almost every single time. But before you get too excited, there's one major problem. Most people who try to turn $100 into $1,000 never actually reach that goal. Not because the opportunity isn't real, but because they make a handful of critical mistakes that quietly destroy their chances before they ever get started. And if you can avoid those mistakes, you'll already be ahead of the vast majority of beginners. In the next section, I'm going to show you the biggest mistakes people make when trying to turn $100 into $1,000, and how to avoid every single one of them.